Kariata everyone, and welcome to a new series I've created that I'm really excited about, Classical Mysteries. I've always been interested by true crime and mysteries, so I decided to combine this with my love of classics to bring you a collection of mysteries from the ancient world. I thought I would start this series off with possibly one of the most talked about ancient mysteries, the lost city of Atlantis. So, if this sounds interesting to you, stick around as we delve into the mystery of the lost city of Atlantis. You might recognise Atlantis from Disney's 2001 film, Atlantis, The Lost Empire. I actually watched the film for the first time whilst preparing for this video, and I've got to say it's good fun. I don't know where the weird alien-type technology, magical crystals, and all the proof Milo somehow found for the existence of Atlantis came from, but it's a good time and definitely worth the watch if you're interested in the topic. Also, it did fulfil my bisexual dream. I loved both Helga and Dr. Sweet, and frankly, Helga was done dirty and deserved better. So, I always seem to have really had a soft spot for the bad guys.
Hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes.
Atlantis also had a cheeky appearance in the finale of the Great British Bake Off in 2018, when icon, sweetheart, and human embodiment of a ray of sunshine, Kim Joy, made a whole damn Atlantis cake, columns and all, and even wrote a welcome sign in the original ancient Greek, even if the sign was incorrectly spelt. You still have this classicist respect to Kim Joy. The word Atlantis, translated from Greek, means belonging to Atlas, although this doesn't have anything to do with the Atlas who held up the sky in Greek mythology. The first time Atlantis was ever mentioned was by ancient Greek philosopher Plato in the 4th century BC, who can be seen here, drawn with very bad back posture. He was known to use, and occasionally invent myths to provoke thought and debate in readers. The story of Atlantis is mentioned in Plato's discussion of an ideal state, and used to demonstrate the fact that an ideal state is not a realistic possibility. Every state will have flaws, and if it doesn't, then it's completely unsustainable. Atlantis never appears anywhere before Plato's work, and doesn't appear in the ancient Greek historian Herodotus's map of ancient Greece, which all points to Atlantis being an invention of Plato to demonstrate his argument of an ideal state. The following quotes are spoken by Critias in Plato's Timaeus and describe the city of Atlantis. Then listen up, Socrates, to a story which is utterly extraordinary, but totally true. There were ancient deeds of this city, great and amazing ones, which had been obliterated by time and the destruction of humanity. The story is old, and I heard it from a man who wasn't young. You don't know that the finest and noblest race in all mankind existed in your land, and that you and your fellow citizens are descended from a slender remnant of their seed. There was a time, before the greatest of all destructions by water, when the city that is now Athens was the most excellent in war, and exceptionally well governed in all respects. To that city were said to belong the finest exploits and the finest political institutions of any under the heavens that we heard word of. Now, a mighty and wondrous power had arisen on the island of Atlantis. The destruction of Atlantis is also spoken by Critias in Plato's text, but at a later time, when extraordinarily violent earthquakes and floods had taken place, and one awful day and night had suddenly occurred, the entire warrior class in your land sank beneath the earth en masse, and, in the same way, the island of Atlantis sank beneath the sea and disappeared. Now we have a basic grasp of the story of Atlantis. Let's get into some modern works and ideas that have surfaced from the 20th century onwards. Edgar Cayce was an American psychic that would go into trance-like states to deliver readings, which gave him the nickname the Sleeping Prophet. He made several claims on the lost city of Atlantis. There's a whole book on his claims, so I can't really fit even a fraction of them into this video. such as America would rediscover a death ray from Atlantis in 1958, although my drawing makes it look like they rediscovered a giant lamp, that a red race was rapidly developed in Atlantis, and that the whole city garnered power from a large solar-powered crystal. Does that last one sound familiar at all? Like, maybe it was used in a successful Disney film? The next person we'll discuss is Lewis Spence. Lewis was a Scottish journalist that believed Plato's accounts of Atlantis. He was aware of the problems that come with saying this ancient civilization had technology that far preceded their time, so he introduced a theory that posited the existence of a landmass in the North Atlantic that lasted until the end of the Miocene period, which is approximately 23 to 5.3 billion years before our present day. When the landmass split, it split into two islands, the islands of Atlantis and Antilla. Spence said that the inhabitants of these islands were the Cro-Magnons, the human beings of the Upper Paleolithic era, who existed about 40,000 to 10,000 centuries before our present day, who scientists now call anatomically modern human, or early modern human. The most scientific theory is the Earth/crustal displacement theory. This is a theory that originates from Charles Hapgood, who said that the crust under the Earth is very thin, and can therefore move and shift underneath the surface, leading to magma under the crust forming new areas of land. This theory was generally dismissed after more scientific research concluded that the crust of the Earth doesn't really move, but the tectonic plates do. However, this can still be used to explain some of the remnants of Atlantis that can be found. Please excuse the lewd appearance of the tectonic plates coming up. As two tectonic plates push on each other, some of the plates will lift up and cause excess materials to be formed, which might even look like stairs, as there's a gradual lifting of the Earth, causing a rippling effect. I think this is a really interesting theory as to why there appeared to be remnants of buildings in the supposed area of Atlantis. I can't definitively say if the city of Atlantis was a real place, or if it's nothing more than Plato trying to make a point about living in an ideal state. But I've always enjoyed looking into this, and I hope you all managed to learn something new about this classical mystery. I know I did whilst researching it. Kaya pola everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye!